Ooh, it's almost Halloween. Today I had my first reading special class. It's kids that I deal with once a week, and we read an article in Time for Kids about Halloween. And I wore my spooky scarf. Yeah, I love the fact that this is going to be totally cool and acceptable for another 2 days, and then everybody's going to just wonder because I'm still wearing this stuff. Oh yeah. I'll also be wearing my many bat shirts, which I brought along with me. Again, seem totally cool and like I'm special now. It's just gonna leave people wondering when I'm still wearing all black with the occasional orange in the summer. Yeah, so my reading class, they were pretty fun. We talked about Halloween a bit, what they know, and then I had them tell me ghost stories. I asked for Korean ghost stories, but we ended up getting sidetracked on Japanese ones, because there's a whole color series, which I didn't realize. Now, I only knew Kuchisake Onna, which Kuchi is mouth, sake is like this whole ripping thing. All right, so this is great. So the story is that there was this beautiful actress, and she had a very jealous co-star, and she had all these special parts, and her co-star was very jealous, and so one of the roles that the very famous, very beautiful actress had involved like a fake knife cutting her in the face, and somebody put a real knife instead of a fake knife into the prop set for the play, and the girl got cut all along one side of the face, and then the girl went to the hospital, and when she went to the doctor to get it fixed, he ended up jacking up the other side of her face as well, because her co-star had actually paid him to screw it up so that she would no longer be beautiful. So when he was done, she discovered that she was ugly, she was no longer beautiful. She climbed to the top of the hospital and jumped off. Now, the kids then told me this very complex story about this other guy who was also on the roof, who fell down, and their souls, both of them had souls that merged with cats, and the woman became the red mask, and the man became the blue mask, and they became ethereal ghostly friends. But the way that story continues for me is that later on, she basically, the Kuchisake Onna, she haunts the area, and she wears one of those masks that you often see this on Asia when like bird flu is going around, those masks that cover their mouth. That's actually pretty common. She had one from when she was cut, and so she haunts around late at night, and like the story was in like the 70s that this little boy came home, and his parents were like, "Where were you? Why are you so late?" And he said that he was walking home from school late at night, and this young woman with long flowing hair and beautiful eyes approached him and said, "Am I pretty?" And he said yes. She said, "Am I beautiful?" And he said yes. And then she pulled off her mask, and she was cut from ear to ear. It was the Kuchisake Onna, and of course then they ran away all scared. So the kids knew that. There's also the green mask, the yellow mask, and the white mask. The white mask is the doctor. He was, his reputation was destroyed after he wrecked the beauty of the Kuchisake Onna, and so he drank himself to death, basically. And then he goes around sewing people's mouths shut. As his haunting. It's pretty awesome. Anyways, in the end we didn't really get any well, there was one kind of cool ghost story that I think was originally Korean. There's two girls, and they had they were twins. Their mother died, their father remarried, his new wife had a son. He had a lot of money, or as my one student said, he had many monies, and his new wife wanted her son to inherit it all. So she had her one son say that he was taking the older of the twins to visit their grandmother, and instead he pushed her into a pond and she drowned. And then after that, her twin sister missed her sister, wanted to know where she went, and a bird told her where she was. She found one shoe, discovered that her sister was dead, and threw herself in the pond. And then they both became ghosts and haunted the house that was next to the pond. And eventually the mayor of the town braved going into the haunted house, heard their story, and punished the woman who was responsible for both of their deaths. So that was pretty cool. I was kind of afraid in some level that in the end nothing would really happen, or there'd be some sort of weird Confucian thing, where it was just as well, because the boy should have gotten the money. I have no idea. I wasn't sure, given I guess what else I know about Asian culture. I wasn't totally sure that there would be that kind of direct vengeance, which I always associate very much with Western culture, whereas this sort of workaround, look how awesome my hands look. That's so cool. Yeah, that, you know, maybe there'd be something broader and cyclical rather than sort of that direct retribution. So thumbs up for direct retribution. Go team. So those kids were pretty awesome. They very much got into talking, and their English is pretty good. Rest of my classes went well. I think that's because 2 of them we got to play act, speak, draw. So it's like Pictionary Plus. So we went over their vocab words. The best part was utterly mortifying this little boy who he had to act something out, and one of the words that's really easy that they had as a vocab word was hug, and he just stood there and turned red and feigned ignorance for a long time. And I was really loath to switch up the word, but I don't know culturally how weird that is. Seemed a little strange since throughout most of class, the boy sitting next to him was actually sharing a chair with him, and the 2 of them were very, you know, touchy-feely, but apparently that was just too much. In the class before, a little boy did hug, and it was fine. So that was good. But yeah, playing a game with the kids was a lot more fun than trying to discipline them a whole lot. And right now I only know the names of the really good kids and the really bad kids, because I end up having to say, David, Frank, Sam, voice, down, you don't need to yell. Yeah, that was that was a dominating theme of the day. I'm not going to Japan tomorrow. They didn't get my super secret spy number, which I need in order to come back in on a work visa. And the best part of that is I will not know when I'm going to Japan until 5 p.m. the day before. I have no forewarning. This means I can't even properly plan for the day that I'll be missing. Awesome. But I'm kind of glad I'll be here tomorrow because there'll be a, it's test day, and I should get my learn on about that. So regarding the questions that I've gotten about my age and my marital status, being married increases your status here, at least for the women. So I'm opening up the bidding. You know, I'm not looking for anything too serious here, but if you're looking to get married, guys, being married to a woman doesn't really do much out here. In fact, that would probably cause me trouble. So, single boys, if you want to come over here and increase my status, sure, why not? You know, it's only for a year.